me
All right, we're live here with the Sullivan family, live in Belmont, Massachusetts. Principal Mark Sullivan from the high school and his family. So we're checking in to see how the school closure adjustment is going. And let's ask the Sullivan children first, Mary Kate and Mark. How's school been for you? How's school been for you during this time? What's it like?
Easy.
Easy? What have you been up to?
What have you been doing in the mornings?
Easy stuff.
Like what? What's your routine been? What have you been doing in the mornings?
Number of the day, then math,
Nice.
and then something else, and then something else.
Word work.
Word work. And then I do this
Look at the
reading thing, and then I read, and then I'm done.
All right.
Very
Math
much
and
all-
literacy, I like it. Nice.
Right.
What about you, Mary Kate?
What's
Her
your day?
teacher hasn't said one thing.
Okay.
Well, her teacher might be busy.
Yeah. Very
We all have different situations. That's what we're dealing with.
Talk to him. So it's been
One
boring.
good thing, Mary Kate, one good thing that's happened during the school closure for you? What's one good thing?
I've gotten to create a lot of families on Sims 4. What? She has one good thing.
That's one good thing. How about the Prodigy that you've been doing? The
Oh
Prodigy
yeah,
game.
Prodigy.
The math
Okay. All right. Cool. We like math. Miss Fortunato from my office will like to hear that.
game.
All right. Have fun. Thank you for chiming in.
Ew.
Thanks, Mary Kate.
Don't put your floss on my
All right. So, Kate,
Yeah.
your job in Cambridge is what? Remind me.
So I'm a speech language pathologist.
Okay.
Yeah. And I serve
All
as
right. So,
kindergarten through 5th grade in the elementary school.
okay. Now, not to put you on the spot, because I know we're trying to figure out like how folks like you can really support families during this time. Do you have anything you've come up with in Cambridge?
So it's been really tricky. We're just getting started to roll out Model 2, which is more of a direct support to families, potentially to children, providing virtual sessions, as well as ongoing collaboration with classroom teachers and other specialists in the buildings. But it's been particularly tricky in Cambridge because we have a population that has very different needs than some of the surrounding communities. And so we've spent a lot of time building up their access to technology, getting out hotspots and actual devices to all the kids, as well as making sure their other needs are supported in terms of food and shelter and those types of supports. So it's been
Great.
an interesting process, to say the least.
Yeah, I bet. Now, more importantly, how's it been being a mom at home with the 2 kids and trying to make the day have some structure to it?
And,
2 kids, sometimes 3. It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, right.
I think you said the magic word there. It's just providing the structure, whether it be, you know, the academic work they're being sent or just kind of creating it throughout our day of just different activities and making sure they know what to expect when, because then things just run a lot smoother. So
Yeah, and then being 2 parents at home with multiple kids too, like how do you find some balance for yourselves so you can each have a little time to kind of recharge, because it takes a lot out of you?
it really does. It really does. And I've gone back to getting up early and taking my time before the rest of the house wakes up, because I just feel like you get it in early and then that way you're kind of prepped for the rest of the day. I feel in a better space. So.
Great.
Great.
No, I think the one thing I would say to couples or any family at home right now, like I feel like we've been running on adrenaline, so we're getting by. But when this gets, kind of to be a grind in the next few weeks, I think to have those processes in place, like if you haven't already, like start the things to make sure you have a little time to yourself, you get out and move. So I'm glad you guys have found a routine, and I'm sure you're tweaking it as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Day by day, hour by hour.
Yeah, no, good days and bad days too. I think you get to the end of the day and it might have been a bad day, but just don't let them string together,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, nice.
So what about you, Mark? How's it been for you?
It's been interesting.
It's principal remotely.
It's been challenging, and I think just trying to, with obviously with the district team and the other principals and yourself and Eric and Dr. Conti is just trying to come up with an alternative way to support and educate our kids in a week. With all the staff members we have and all the little things, the unanticipated hurdles that come up and the problems that you have to solve, whether it's like Kate just mentioned, nutrition and getting kids lunches, getting kids devices, supporting staff during this time. Because like you said, a lot of our staff are struggling personally. It's a very anxiety driven time. I think there's a fear of the unknown. So I think it's a very heightened emotional time. So it's been challenging to support our kids, to support our staff, to make sure everyone's getting what they need, and to build a plan that makes sense for everybody. On like in a week, I don't think anybody ever predicted a situation like this. So we didn't plan for it. It wasn't like we had talked about remote learning for snow days, one day here, a couple days, maybe at the most. But to roll out a whole educational plan for a few thousand kids in the district in a week is a lot of work. Right. And we're tweaking it as we go. I mean, obviously, this was the first week we rolled out in the district, and we have a staff meeting tomorrow at the high school, and there's a list of things that we already have to adjust and tweak again to support kids and staff. So it's been interesting, and one of the things I like about being a principal is that the challenges that it brings. So you did the job, and even a central office position. The things that come up, you don't predict. You don't ever know what the next day is going to bring. So I've always kind of thrived on challenges. So I've enjoyed this in some way, kind of supporting people and solving problems. And it's been challenging, which is good. But it's been hard at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely been the ultimate challenge. Yeah. But I agree, making sure that staff is okay. And like Kate was saying, setting the stage so everybody has the resources at home that they need is the starting point. And I do think we'll get better and we'll figure out new things to make things, improve along the way. Yeah. I was going to ask, socially people are distancing. Yeah. And have you found any ways to stay connected with friends, family during this time?
Yeah, so actually, my brother and mother walk up and down the street couple times. So they're on the sidewalk and we'll talk. My sister lives on the other side of town, and she's walked by with the dog a couple times. And we, one of the good things is we're out kind of walking all the time. We're socially distancing and doing our thing. But there are so many families out. Like we never. Yeah. I think in this day and age, you don't see people that often in your neighborhoods. Not like it was when I was growing up, anyway. But when we're out walking, we see families that we never see. So we're actually meeting new people that we didn't even know lived in our neighborhoods. So I think it's been good in that way. So we've been socially interacting by just walking around and kind of talking to people from across the street. I know Kate, we just did a Zoom hangout with her whole family. They're a little more spread out than mine is. We've done a couple social hours with some of my friends on Zoom or Google Hangouts, which has been fun. And it's interesting. I have friends from college and high school that if I see them once a year, we're lucky at this day and age. And I think we've texted and talked more in the last couple of weeks, just because people are kind of craving those connections. And that's one of the biggest things I've missed about school is just the connection, seeing people, talking to people. I was at school the other day and there was some kids down on the field, unfortunately, that I had to ask to leave. But they had told me they really, it was the first day that we rolled out the learning plan, and they just really enjoyed seeing their classmates and their teachers, even though if it was on a camera, you underestimate the impact of the human element of what we do until it's gone.
Right. Josh Murphy said to me on his check-in, he looks forward to his next lunch duty. He never thought he'd miss a lunch duty.
Yeah. It's true. Bus duty, lunch duty, all those little things that you don't necessarily always like to do, that you put them in perspective in times like this, for sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned a lot of neat things, and I like to ask people, like, kind of to end, like, is there some source of gratitude that they have, like something that's happened over these last few weeks that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have this kind of unique experience? So if you have anything that comes to mind, I know you already mentioned a few things, obviously.
I was just just out of the corner of my eye, I'm catching it. I think the slowing down that we have done has been I've been grateful for. I feel like we were, a family that was involved in a lot of different, kids' activities, our activities, different things, and I just wrote out our April calendar, our family calendar in the kitchen, and completely empty. I'm like, we got nothing. I think, the blessing in that is that we've got each other, and so the time to slow down and reconnect and be, a unit, I think, is oftentimes left by the wayside when we're caught up in all of our things.
Yeah,
so.
I agree with that one.
So I would ditto that.
Anything for you, Mark?
Yeah, I would just also say I'm grateful just to our school community. This has been a challenge for a lot of different people, and I think a lot of people have stepped up and been willing to be flexible and patient. Our teachers, our kids, our parents, just the whole community. I think it takes a village, and everybody understanding and support during this time. I think I'm grateful that people are kind and generous, and you see the best in people in times like this. And I'm just grateful that I work and I'm in a community that steps up when times get tough.
No, I definitely hear you, and I agree with that. And I'm grateful to have the chance to talk to Kate tonight. I get to talk to you all the time.
So all this session, but
yeah. So thanks so much, and I'll let you get back to your family life. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, see you soon.
All right, bye.